Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, here, folks. It's your man, Larry Joe Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, you know what the day is. It's the first of the month. Grab your check and come on. I got mine yesterday, so I'm about broke already. So, folks, I know it's Friday's payday, but you know how it is. You know, you get your check and you look at it and you got bills. Water supposed to be free, but you know, nothing's free in this world. So, folks, as you know, I enjoyed talking to you ladies. Just had a lovely interview yesterday with a lovely lady, and I got some more coming up in the pipe. And we have your lady who just turned pro last month at the national championships in women's physique. She took second place in her class, which means at nationals, it officially makes you an IFBB pro. She's recently just did an interview with my man David Bryan over at Female Body Forum. If you want to check out the interview, the link is in the description of this live stream. You can check it out. She's a lovely lady, you know, and I think she might have a good future. We have here the lovely Mrs. Junno Gardenhire, if I got the name right.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's the name, Gardenhire. Hire Gardener or something like that.
I mean, spelled just like it sounds.
Yeah, it's not, it's everybody has that name. My name is just MacArthur, the last name. It's old Scottish, or somebody told me. I said, I'm not no Scottish blood. But anyway, we're going to talk to Junno and share her story of how she got started bodybuilding. What are her plans for now? We're already second year of 2025. So welcome, ma'am, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So this is a question I often ask you ladies. What got you started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
Oh, lots of things. Actually, my husband started. He started competing, and I was just there for support. So um, it's kind of one of those things where you go to a show and you're in the moment and everyone's excited, and then you're like, oh, I want to try that too. Try. So it was just kind of just one of those things. We talked about it. He's always like, you should do it. You should do it. I'm like, no, I'm just here for support. But then it just turned into this thing.
Yeah, it happens like that. I know quite a
Yeah.
few couples that started out like it's usually either the husband or the wife, and then eventually one gets into it, or sometimes both. Like she's in the Kansas area, and she also knows a couple people who are friends of mine. That's Tina Williams and my man Big Keith Williams. Big Keith sometimes
Yeah.
comes on my podcast. I know him for a long time, and it's good that y'all two share that same passion together, especially being married. It can be tough, especially if you're prepping at the same time. He's dieting, you dieting. I mean, the kids at the house say, "Hey, mom, dad," say, "Hey, what you talking about? What you talking to me for?" It can be a
Yeah.
lot.
Tough is not the word I would use, but that's a good one.
What's your husband's name? How long he been competing?
His name's Dawn, and he's been competing. He started like a year or two before I did, so around the same time.
And what division he competes in?
He started off in classic, but now he's in physique. So
Mhm. So he's in the boy shorts and banana hammocks, as I call them.
that's right.
So,
Yes.
yeah, because it's those two divisions have been around for a good bit. So I think probably the most popular divisions because I think there's a lot easier to do than maybe men's open or even 212. So what was that like? What was that first show for you? What was that like in your experience when you got into bodybuilding?
it was. It was. I don't know. Like looking back on the pictures now, they're so cringy to look at. Like it's like that was me. Like I was so small. Like it was so. It was exciting, but it was scary. Like getting up there and the lights are so bright and you can't see the people, which is good, but it's very scary. Like that was my takeaway. Like that was the scariest thing I've ever done because like I'm always a behind the scenes type person. So like to put me center stage was yeah, my anxiety was like through the roof. But once you get on stage, you just become this different person. So it was once you do one show, you're like hooked after that. It's like you're chasing something.
Yeah, bodybuilding is a extreme sport, but it's also, it can be addictive, especially get into it. The competition, the training, the diet that's involved in, and then you present this physique and body, the work you put into, the time you put into it. You go on stage, and for us guys who out here who follow, especially the ladies we follow, like most of the
Mhm.
guys who follow my channel follow you ladies because we have particular excitement about y'all. We just So wonderful. We just can't help ourselves. And people need to understand that to get there, there's a lot of sacrifice you have to make. The time, your money, your life, everything that's involved as an athlete.
It's a lot. Like it's hard to work and do it at the same time, especially being a trainer. So you're telling these people to do all these things, and you're like, I don't even want to do these things right now. So it's hard to do both. It is very time consuming because especially when you have kids. So you're like my kids, they're in sports. And so there would have been times where I've been prepping and coaching and eating meals in the dugout cold and eating on the road and stopping at gas stations and heating up your food. Like it's packing your food. So you got to pack their stuff and then you got to pack your stuff. So like the time, not, yes, it's expensive, but it's not really even about the money. It's about the time. You're like, and your energy. Like that's where everything goes. It's like, where am I going to pull some extra energy from to coach softball or to go to a track meet or to drive 3 hours to one of the kids' sports? It's like, oh my gosh, like the energy that it takes is you don't even know where it comes from. You just do it. It's like you're on autopilot.
Hmm. Now,
Yeah.
you mentioned you have kids. How old are your babies?
So I have three. So the oldest is 27. Uh, yeah. And then I have 22 and 21. So one runs track and then the other one plays college softball, and then the oldest one, he's in South Dakota. He coaches track. So yeah, so
You have a baby that's 27?
I do. Yep.
I mean, you sure? I
Well, I'm
mean,
I'm
you can't
I'm pushing 50, so it's the maths.
we're black people. We don't like. I just turned 50 in November, and I had a friend tell me since he thought I was 35.
Mhm.
I never had the pleasure of having children. If you don't have kids, and at the burying them, you don't have to you don't age as well as much. But respect to you. I mean, you got your grown babies. I know they're proud of their mama and their daddy, and they support you. We have people here coming in. My man KL Wonder. Shout out to KL. He says, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey, brother, how you doing? Also, he's picking on me. He says, George's FBB forum. No, I am always George Page, and that's FBB forum is my man David. Shout out to David. He's a great guy. Also, this is from man Warrior 2000. He says, give a second, afternoon, you all. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Also, he says, pleasure to meet you, Junno, and
Thank you.
thank you, brother. And also, this is from man K. The Wonder. He has a question. He says, "How was your posing when you first started?" So that's
Yeah,
important because what
it was
division were you?
trash.
Yeah, what division you started in first before you did visit? Because I know most competitors do a division first, like bikini or figure, or which one you started first?
I started in physique. I've never left. Yeah. Posing was oh my gosh, it is trash. I think it's still trash now, but like more trash back then. It was so bad. Like it's it's different. It's awkward. So like trying to get your body to do those things and hold and smile and breathe and my posing was so bad. Like it was. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I said, like looking back at the pictures, you're like, did I even practice? It's like, jeez, it was so bad. Like I think it's bad. Like we're our biggest, critics, but it was bad. Like posing, posing actually is still my judges feedback. They're like, oh, you need to work on your posing. So, but yeah, very bad. I'll be the first to admit.
Yeah, I know in your interview with David, you mentioned that your coach, and what's your coach's name?
Robert Wickman.
All right, all right. He's also not just your coach, but also your posing coach.
Yes.
And I know he has a lot to work with. It's like, you know,
Yes.
it's like it's like remember in I love to talk about movies. My favorite movie is Rambo, when Troutman says to us, "You're like a piece of clay. I took it and just knock off around the edges, and then that's what it is. You just gotta knock off those rough edges, and then it takes time because Posing is very important, especially in divisions like physique, women's bodybuilding, men's classic, and men's open and 212. You have to do that movement
Yeah.
and the right music that comes with it. I've quite a few ladies who I know who are good posers, and they work with some great people.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I mean, it's definitely gotten better, but like I said, it still can be better. Like we'll be in our posing session and he's like, do this, do that. And in my head, I'm like, I am doing that, but my body's not doing it. So, but it's something, it's one of those things that you always have to keep doing year round.
Yeah. We have here come from man Stephen Prey coming through. Thank out, brother, for coming through. It says, good luck in the 2025 season. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Also, this is from man Warrior 2000. He says this. He said, I saw the thumbnail on this video. Your abdominals and obliques is amazing. Very cut. And
Thank you.
also, he says this. He says, get a second, because my computer's a little slow. He says, keep up the good work. So yeah, because I know when he talked about he loves your abdominals. I tell you the truth, I think for any woman, that's a centerpiece of a great physique. If you have great abdominals, a good conditioning. One thing is my personal pet peeve. When I see ladies do posing, some ladies like to do the vacuum. I hate the vacuum. You do that because you're trying to cover weaknesses or try to copy
Mhm.
what the men doing. I think women who just have great, like one example lady who I interviewed back, her name is Roxanne Edwards, great set abdominals. Bonnie Priest. There's one lady I remember who was a big fan of Krista Bach. A lady I actually got to meet, Anna Rivicchio, great set of abs. That's just great presentation. Now, at the show, like I said, the critique was about your posing. What was the critique of everything else? And what the thing you felt like it was your best asset?
Um, Abs are, I always get like, oh, you have great abs. Hamstrings, I get critiqued on my hamstrings as well. They need to hang a little more. I gotta build those up. Those have always been my weakness too. So I get critiqued on those after posing. Um, Actually, though, like there's been a couple times I didn't get critiqued on my hamstrings, which I was a bit surprised. But it's usually those two things, my posing and my hamstrings.
That's the one thing. As a bodybuilder, you have to improve on your strengths and also work on your weaknesses because
Mhm.
you want to be complete. I mean, training you have to maybe do extra days on one thing and maybe pull back on the other because you don't want to overtrain that other body part. Here we got here from a man Warrior, shout to man Warrior again. He says, a mother who has has had children and and has abs like that is a gift from God because some
Yeah.
ladies, yeah, because you had kids, you had 3 kids,
Yes.
it's really affect how your abdominals look. But I know one lady, I think there's one lady, her name is I forgot can't remember her name back in my head. She had like twins, but she has a great set of abs,
Yeah.
but she had twins, yeah.
I think, honestly, I'm going to put this out there because I think an advantage that I have is that my kids are older. So I had my kids a long time ago. So I've had years to work on my core strength and, build it back up. Like, honestly, I feel like if I would have been one of the young mothers, like, I compete against sometimes, I feel like my core strength wouldn't be as good. So you know, shout out to myself for having babies so early, but it's like I think that's why. I think it's because I had them so long ago, and I've had 20 years to regain my core strength. So I'm just gonna throw that out there, like, and I mean I do work hard, but I'm just saying like I've had time to rebuild it. So
Yeah, that's good. It
yeah,
takes time, and you had that
yeah,
time. Your kids were growing up. Now they're pretty much about grown,
yeah,
And I know you're a proud mother. You're proud of your children, both of you and Dewan. I'm proud of what they're doing with their lives because that's one thing. As a parent, you want your children to succeed in life in this world. It's tough
right.
out there. Now
It
days can look like
is.
it's been
Yeah,
tougher. Yeah.
yeah.
We have a comment here from my man. Shout out to my man Balls Deep coming through. He says, "Good afternoon, gorgeous." He's a fan. Also, he says, "Chicago in here." Thank you, brother. He says, "Smash that like button." I appreciate that. Smash that like button, make comments, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also, he says, what up? And salute to George and chat. Thank you, brother. And also, he says to you, he says, peace and blessings, beautiful. He
Thank
says, you're beautiful. And you
you.
are beautiful, he says. And also, his other moniker, he says, Schmo gang. I'm a member, so and thank you, that bossy. Also, we have another guest here, IFBB Pro, Miss Diana Perez. She just made a comment here. Thank you, Diana. Diana, she's a great lady. She's been
Ah,
doing
yes.
when,
Oh my
when I
God.
saw when I saw Juno backstage, I thought it was over for everyone. She is so dense, and her conditioning was amazing. Oh wow, she's a Diana, right back Diana was a part of a live stream we did together. It was like a little podcast discussion. She's a great young lady. She has a lot of potential, and also says this: she served our country. And I don't say thank you for your service. I say I appreciate what she's made as a citizen for this country.
Yeah. Oh, when I saw her backstage, I was just like, look at this little bitty girl in this. She's not a girl. I'm sorry, I didn't call you a girl. Look, that's what I was thinking. Look at this little bitty
We
girl
about
in this.
50.
Yeah.
I'm like this. We're about 50, and when they're
Yeah.
still young, they're still girls. This is like I call shooting babies.
Yeah.
You're not at our age yet. You're not really. We're not gonna call you like that.
But that's like in my head. That's what I was thinking. It's like I mommed her immediately in my head. I was like, oh my gosh, look at her. And then she had the hair, the matching suit. I was like, yes, yes. So yeah, she's amazing. Yes.
Yeah, because I interviewed her a while back. She took a part of one of my podcasts, and I think all you ladies are amazing. I respect your passion and what really will get you to do this sport. Like I know one thing is it's tough, especially for a woman, because I keep saying this: you're changing your aspects of what's considered feminine. You're changing by getting muscle, which most people will see as an offense. That hey, women getting muscle like that, and you're trying to be manly. And then it's always an issue with people talking about, oh, all you gotta do is take steroids. And you just like that. No, that's not. That's only a small factor to it.
Don't you
Unless you are
wish it was that easy?
I people tell me, say, George, if they take the stuff I take, the gear I took, then they wouldn't look like as half as good as I do, because the fact is, if you don't stay consistent, you don't follow a diet, don't work on a plan, you just can't just just lift weights and just pop in. You have to be consistent, disciplined. There's so much more involved to this, especially for the aspects of women. You have to. It's more of a cost for y'all compared to the men. As I said
Right.
again, your husband gonna get a $30-$40 banana hammock and a pair of boy shorts. You have to get a nice suit. Might cost you about $800 to $1,000, even a couple $1,000. You got to get your hair and makeup done, and not just counting the tanning and everything else that's involved in it.
Yeah. 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 I don't like it when people say that. Oh well, if I took what you took, then I'd look like you too. I'd be like, okay, well then go for it. So, yeah. So it's like women get it, they get it so much harder than men. Like I'm not trying to look like a man. Like I'm not trying to, like bodybuilding is something that you have to do for yourself. Like you're not doing it for anybody else but yourself. Like you don't change your appearance and your look and go through all the risk and side effects for everybody else. You do it for yourself. Like it's something, it's hard and it's challenging. And if you like a challenge, then you do it. So like if you just want to be great and you do something, you can push yourself. There's so many things. I'm not trying to look a man. So like that's not everybody's goal. Like I know
Here's
some
the
men that don't even want to look like themselves. So
here's the thing. I go like this: you can never look like a man. Now, being a man is not something physical; it's something mental. I'm like I said,
right.
I'm 50. It took me time to grow and to develop and do like that. I wish people stop saying that. No, you can never look like a man. You're a
Yeah.
woman. You might get maybe some masculine tendencies, something like that, but still, you're a woman. It's
Yeah.
just the mindset is different from that. And like I said, they tell me they'll do this for the money, do it because they love doing it, because they love
Right.
competing. But I wish, as I said again, from my conversation, I wish there was more benefits, like especially financially. Like you just turned pro. We had a discussion earlier the week with the whole thing about the pro card thing, like the
Right.
activity, stuff like that. And that's the thing, is that there's so much involved in it, and the time and work you put into it, and you want to really get the opportunities just as much as the men do. I mean, financially, if anything, like sponsorship does help for a lot of competitors. Like, are you sponsored?
No. By my
Yeah.
husband, if that counts.
Oh, we don't count. He. always people go throw money. It's just funny things about this. People always go through the money against, unless you are the top male competitors or whatever you get
Right.
lucky enough. Most people put the money towards the guys and do the women. But I wish more people give y'all ladies the opportunity as much as your male counterparts. Y'all work just as hard. Your training is
Right.
different because it's us men. We can, like I said, when I was in high school, I used to lift weights, and I was playing football, and I put on muscle pretty good.
Mm.
Women, your bodies are different because we have testosterone naturally. Y'all don't have but so much of it, and
Right.
without that, you can't grow the muscle like we do.
Okay. Women, this is why I feel like women should get more. Like, somebody's probably going to come at me, but
Go ahead.
our bodies go through more. So we have to work twice as hard. Not saying that men don't work hard, but we have to work twice as hard. And 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, we cook the food. We tend to the kids. We're running around chasing kids, doing this, doing that, still working at the same time. It's like we have so much more on our plate. So we have to work twice as hard as the man who, like, and I'm going to say this, and he's right here. So maybe he'll say something, maybe he won't. But like, it's like that the amount that we have to put up with during our prep to control. Yes.
Wait, 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 wait. Dewan, where's Dewan? Come on here, son. Come on down here, son. Defend us
No,
men.
I'm saying like we have to deal with all the emotions. Like everyone dumps their emotions on mom or on the wife or on the girlfriend. So it's like we have to add that on top of our plate too. So like, have you ever had to deal with 3 kids, a husband, and you're hungry? Like, yeah. So that's why I feel like women should either be right up there with the men financially or just slightly more, just for our troubles.
Yeah, I understand that. I respect it. But same time, here's this: men's purpose in life is to battle, breed, die, and to make sure you have a house, roof over your head, to make sure those children fed. There's more. There's a lot on you women. Yeah, I know, I understand that, but there's also a lot on us because we have to maintain a certain thing. Like even when things get hard, we have to be stoic. We can't cry if we want to, because if we do, we see it as weakness. We can't wear our hearts on our sleeves like we want. Women, I know, because like I said, I grew up with a single mom. My parents were together for 55 years. Even though my dad lived in New Jersey, we still here in North Carolina. And I seen the struggle she went through. But also being a man myself, I see struggles we have to go through. Sometimes society, pin us into this little thing where we can't be so emotional. We have to be stoic. We have to stand and be strong for our women and for our children. But yes, I understand it's tough to be a woman, especially in this sport.
No, and I get that, and I appreciate everything he does. Now I get that mentally. I was more talking about the physical part of it. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the physical part is the tough part, especially for women. Here, this is from my man, Balls. Davey says this. He has a comment. He says, "You are sexy and swole as AF." Also, Warrior also made a comment to Diana. Says she's God's work of art. Yeah, she has a great resilience. She
yeah.
has a lot of
She's
potential.
great. Yeah.
Hope she's well. Also, here from my man, Warrior. He posted this. He says, "Well, you're doing something right, Miss Juno. I wish you well." Thank you, brother. Also, we have one more comment here from a man. Warrior says, "You all ladies are like a sorority backstage. You support each other, lift each other up, and make friendships, and that's good. But sometimes not always the way. Sometimes this is a competition. This is competition. You're gonna be looking at somebody and say, this is somebody who might be, chasing for my chance for a pro card or a title." Like I know you took second to Haley Break. That's what I remember
Yeah.
David mentioned. She won the in your class, and then she won the overall.
Right.
And yeah, and it's good to have those friendships. Even if you're a young lady who just also competed at that show, um, Colette Morris, and she's a nice young lady. I think she has potential to grow and develop, but it takes a lot of work and to invest time into the sport.
Yeah. As far as like, I know you say like it's a competition, but backstage, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. Like if you look at someone, like you just know, like, oh my gosh, she looks great, she looks amazing. Like you got to give kudos. Like she, I you can almost say like, well, damn, she worked harder than I did. Like I mean, you could just tell who put the work in. So like, yes, it's a competition and you want to win, but in your head, you already know. So yeah, so you gotta like give them their credit. So that's why it's all love backstage.
Yeah, it's good to have good bonds and friendships with these ladies because y'all are backstage, y'all getting tanned up. You have to stick glue on your butts to keep your posing suits on. You have to do all this and all that. There's a lot that's involved that we don't see,
Right.
or who are the people out in the audience. So, folks, while we get here, we're going to do this. We're going to jump into her social media for a bit. If you want to follow her, the link to her IG is in the description of this live stream. And also the link to her interview with David on Female Body Forum is also in the description. So you want to check it out, watch this video, and also my video. I appreciate your support. But guys, I do this as a disclaimer, Junno. Guys, this is a nice lady. Her husband's right there in the next room. Oh, thanks. Stop it. Get some help. I know you guys get excited when you see these ladies, but hey, have respect. You get more with a silk glove than with an iron fist. And I know what to do with that iron fist. So, so we're gonna jump into her IG for a bit and go follow, just follow her on social media and support her. These ladies can really use support. Here, this is where you got your pro card. Now, what is that feeling like when they told you you're now IFBB Pro?
It was unreal. Like you're like that's the moment that you're waiting for, but when you hear your name you still are like, wait, that's me. So yes, like it's an unreal feeling. It's like you don't hear anything else. You don't hear the crowd, you don't hear, all you hear is your name, and it's amazing.
Yeah, because here you go. There goes your man hugging you. Oh, he was so it was like like it's like just a feeling.
Yeah, and
Couple
and he
so
was just like,
proud of each other.
he was like, don't you do it, don't you cry, don't you cry. And I didn't cry, but so
Well, you
it
should be
was,
proud of him. I know he's proud of you. And were the kids there, or was it just you and him?
no, it was just him and I.
All right, yeah. And it's a lot of work to this sport. Here it is. She's also a trainer. So we got here's a little video here.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I can't play too much of the music. You got to be careful with YouTube.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got these yeah, and and how long you been personal trainer?
6 years I've been working like in commercial as 6 years. Oh, this here is my gym. I'm opening.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm.
So that's my next project going on right now is, well, it's not going, it's been going on for years, but we secured a building. This is going to be our new gym that we're opening here in Topeka. So it's 7,500 square feet. So we're going to have fun filling this with equipment. So, and we're going to have a posing room. So it's, and go ahead.
Yeah. It's good that you found a business for yourself because you've been training for a long time,
Yeah.
and the work you put in, the time you put in. I know, and now that you're IFBB Pro, that really helps because it promotes you because
Yeah.
a lot of people will work with somebody, especially that's a pro, that's in the
Yeah.
sport.
So going into the business, like client wise, like I had have 32 ish clients. And I'm hoping they all come with me. But since then, since I left my previous job and went out on my own, I've got like so many more clients on the list, like that wanted to work with me that just didn't want to work with me at a commercial gym. So I'm gonna have to, find a place to. I'm gonna be working from all day. So like it's at least like 5 to 10 people who are just like, let me know when you open. I'm there. Take my money. Let's do this. So that's great too.
Yeah. Here she is getting a little prep after before the show.
Oh
I wonder
yeah,
how that
this is
lady's
a
job.
funny story. So yeah, my butt got glued together. Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of work because you have to really represent yourself. You want to make sure every spot is taken in. You don't want to miss anything because
You
even
don't want to
with
have any
black
wardrobe
people,
malfunctions. Yes.
yeah, even with people of color, there's always some spots that you might miss because
Yes.
it can be like one thing can look darker than the other, and one might look brighter than the other. And this is your man Robert. He's and how
Yes.
long y'all
That's
been
it.
working together?
Oh my gosh. 10 years? Like he was with me when I was just wanting to lose weight as a mom. So and then it, like I said, it turned into competing.
That's good. It's good to have a good relationship. I know plenty who have who have a coach that they stick with. Some might just change coaches, especially when you hit that. Now you're IP pro. I know
No,
some you have to really find some that work that you develop.
no, he's stuck with me. So like I'm a very consistent person. So like going to a new trainer would be like telling my life story all over again. And I don't want to do that. Like I want someone who knows me, knows what I've been through, knows what I do, go through every day with the kids and coaching and being a wife and being a trainer. Like I don't want to have to repeat myself all over to somebody else and have them trying to figure it out. Like this is I just like Robert, this is what I got going on, figure it out.
That's good. That's good job to have a good relationship, and he supports you. He stands by you. It's like I said, this is a tough sport.
Yeah.
This is a sport that can drain you mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. And to find people like you have your husband, he's there in your corner. You got Robert, you got your kids. What about your other family members and friends? What they think about you as a bodybuilder?
Well, my mom, she's like when she's able to come to the show, she does. She's a great support. Like I said, when I first started competing, I was still coaching and the kids were in high school. So it's like um, she was there. I'd be like, Mom, can you pick this one up from practice? Take this one to practice. Like we got to split up. One's got to go here. One's got to go there. Can you take this one? Take off work. She takes off work. She helps me out whenever she can. So she's great. And my sister is like the biggest cheerleader. She's always like on social media posting my stuff and telling everybody like, oh, my sister's better than your sister, basically. And so like, and my dad is great. Like he's supports the business and he's just like wants the best. He's just like, you need to, keep growing. And so it's everyone. That's all I have is my mom, dad, my sister. So like immediate family. So and they're great. So anything that I need, they're right there.
That's good because I know I've talked to ladies that told me that sometimes their family understand. I think especially if your dad's in your life, I think one time I think a father would say, "Hey, I don't want my girl to be my boy," because they always worry about the whole thing with muscle and women. And then I know one lady I interviewed, she's an IFB pro. She even said that her mother doesn't want to talk about her bodybuilding. When she comes to the house, they talk about other stuff because it's
Yeah.
something. It's not especially if you come from a certain traditional family, it's just not ever comfortable. Sometimes friends change because this sport can change your life, and then you
Right.
can't do like you used to do, like go hang out here, go there, go to a bar, go to a club. Because
Right.
no, you're right now you're in training and prep. You have to go to bed at 10 o'clock. You have to follow a specific diet. It's just that people don't understand it. So sometimes it's just you outgrow those friends. But the
Right.
true friends who support you, stand by you thick and thin. Here we got from a man Warrior. Shout out to Warrior. He says, "Hey Juno, you're 100% all woman. That's what matters. Never listen to the people who will say otherwise. Men who say negative things about you, it's mostly because they are insecure and can't handle a lady like you." Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Also, this is for a man, Balls. He says, with all the issues, why be a bodybuilder, a female bodybuilder? So that's the thing is, why compete? Why even, because like I said again, there's so much to the sport, you know.
There's I mean that's anything you do really. It's like there's issues with being any type of pro athlete. Like why do it? Like you do it because you love the sport, not for everybody else, not for all the issues that's going on. Like um it why do we smoke cigarettes? Like it's just why do we do the things that we do? Like we do them because it's something that we enjoy, something that we want to challenge ourselves, grow, things like that. Like I just love the sport. So I like to see how like even little small things like with my back, like how deep can I get the cut in my back? Just little challenges like that. So I think that being a bodybuilder goes for any sport that you do. People are going to question why you do it if there's such a risk. So, or issues. So I just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. He got come from a man, Balls Stevie says, he asked the question, says, how many days she trained? So what's your training like, especially during the week?
Uh, 6 days. Um, right now I'm doing 6 days. One true off day, I call it. Usually it's on Sunday. Um, during prep, don't tell Robert this, but it's every day. So, but even though I'm supposed to rest in there, but I just can't. So yeah, don't tell him that. But during prep, it's usually it's supposed to be five. It's supposed to be five, but we go 7. So I'm not gonna lie. So I might lie when prep comes. So yeah.
I know. So I think some people who love competing, working out, and training, you just can't. The gym is like a drug. It's addictive. You just can't get away from it. It's like, remember New Jack City? It be calling me, man. It be calling. It be
Right,
calling.
right. And then you feel like
It's
you're not doing anything when you're not doing anything because you're not doing anything. So yeah.
yeah. Here we got a comment from my man Ball Thief. He says, shout out to Ball Thief. He says, what do you want to gain from bodybuilding? Female body.
Um, that's a good question. No one's ever asked me what I want to gain. Um, strength, not physically, but mentally. So I know if this is something that I can put my mind to and do, then I can pretty much accomplish anything. Um, I just want to know that I can do something and be successful at it. So, like, I used to think that raising my kids was the most successful thing that I could do if I raised good people. But I've learned in bodybuilding that I need to put that same energy into myself. So it's more like I gotta find self love. So if I had to choose what I wanted to gain from it, I would just say to be mentally stronger.
Yeah,
That's
because yeah, that's the thing is this sport can be mentally draining.
yeah,
I've talked to ladies that sometimes to be on prep, especially there's some also mental issues like body dysmorphia.
yes,
Some competitors have like post shows blues because when you're not shredded, you just feel like my body's just so weird. Like, and that's the thing people don't understand that there's so much involved in this,
yeah,
and it can take a lot out of you, especially in your life.
yeah.
It's an investment.
I'm still dealing with that. Like just being 100% honest. Like the body dysmorphia is real. Like it's to watch yourself go from and I'm weight is not the most important thing, but to watch yourself go from a certain weight to 20 pounds heavier in less than 30 days, like talk about body dysmorphia. Like it's going to happen, but and it's not fat and you're not fat and you look perfectly normal and you still look great. You still got all your lines and cuts, but mentally in your head you're like, "Oh my gosh, I just gained 20 pounds. I'm such a big back." Like, so it's like yeah,
Yeah.
so that part is a struggle. Like I'm like I said, just transparency. I'm going through it right now. That's why I have this hoodie on. So it's like it's rough. Yeah. Nobody gets that part. Yeah. Because
Yeah, I
people
think
are
that's
you still look so great. You look so small and cut and you're like, what? I look like trash. It's like
yeah, that's the tough part because everybody from like this one thing when we go to the shows and we see y'all on stage and we see what what we see these bodies that the work they put in, the time you put in, but then people don't understand what got you there, and then
yeah,
you get home and you just try to live a normal life and you have to just you eat because you have to pull up, you want to be make gains because that's the one thing you need to eat. It's an important
right.
part of being a bodybuilder. You need to build your body. You need those gains. You need those extra pounds to be, shredded off and see what you look like afterwards.
Right.
Yeah,
Like you know
it's,
what you look like under there, but you're like, oh, I want to look like that year round. But obviously you could not look like that year round. You can't look stage ready year round. But it's rough. It's hard. Like you lose sleep at night. You're like, what am I doing wrong? Even though you are not doing anything wrong. You're like, what can I change in my off season? What can, like, do I need to cut this? Do I need to do that? And but then you're like, no, I need to eat and build muscle and get back to normal and be regular for a second. But it's hard.
Yeah, because like you did nationals, and that was right about the 1st of December, and that means that you had to skip like Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tough. I know your mom; she cooks Thanksgiving dinner,
Yes.
and yeah, she got
Okay.
everything out there.
Okay. So in my family, we do Mexican for Thanksgiving. And so, yeah, that was rough because I had the Kansas City show on November 13th, 12th, or somewhere around there. And then so I immediately, stayed in prep to get ready for nationals. And so thanks. So I was like, Robert, Thanksgiving is coming up. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? And he's like, you can have some extra oatmeal. So it's like, yeah, I'm good. So yeah, so it was hard. Like, and I actually had to cook. So like I cooked this time and I was like, this is rough. So I had oatmeal.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
can't remember last time I had oatmeal. Not since maybe I was in elementary school. I mean, yuck, yeah, oof,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because hey, yeah, think about it. Christmas, you got to eat like a big dog.
I guess. Well, okay, I did get to have Christmas, but just thinking about prep in general, like, so I started prep in August. Yes, in August. And between August and December, I have my birthday, my husband's birthday, and my daughter's birthday. So I missed all the birthdays. Yeah.
Oh,
So it's like it's rough. You miss everything. So
yeah. Because like I said, that's the thing is that sometimes there's sacrifices you have to make, especially when you're in
yeah.
sport, especially time with the kids and the family. I mean, your kids are grown now, but I know it was especially those early years when we started and they were still young.
Yeah.
Except for the older one, he was already pretty much growing by out of
Yeah,
the
he was
house.
pretty
But
much, yeah.
yeah, the other two they were still around, and I know both of you, your husband, you're prepping, you're dealing, and the kids not gonna eat what you're gonna eat because they be
They do.
eating.
Look,
They do.
they do.
Uh,
They do.
uh,
They go to the gym. Like I said, they're athletes too. So they go to I mean, but they still have their snacks. But for the most part, they eat what we eat. Um, they still to this day meal prep. So they eat pretty clean. But like I said, they were teenagers and they're young adults now. So they have their snacks on deck. So we have a lock on our pantry where we lock. Yes, true story. It's actually there now. That we lock it, and the kids have the key. So yeah,
that bad.
it's that
I,
bad. Like
I,
during, it's that bad. Like it's rough during prep, so they have to lock up all the snacks.
oh, I mean, that's so bad. I mean, I know this time, the one says like, "Oh, punch you," he's like, good, good, good. But but that thing is, it's the sacrifice you have to make, especially in
Yeah,
one of the piece. Especially now, you see right there behind you, you have your IB Pro. If you didn't do the sacrifice, you wouldn't have that card.
that's
And won't be
right.
long. I think it'll be around the corner. What shows that Dewan's planning on doing? He's going to do regional, or he's going to try to do another pro qualifier.
I I'm trying to talk him into doing another qualifier. But he's undecided right now. I think he's so focused on getting the gym open, and he really wants me to focus on my first pro show. Since we got my first pro show hopefully this year, and then we have the gym opening. So that's two big things. So he's like, worry, basically worry about yourself, Junno. He's just like, let's just worry about these two things, and then I can pick back up at any time. So
Yeah. So you are planning to compete this year?
that was the plan. Yes. Yeah.
Uh, Usually, some
But
competitors usually have to wait a year or so before they do it. Take the time and grow. But you want to hit the ground running.
yes, yeah. Like in my head, I feel like I need to keep going, and so I stay more consistent. I've taken time off before, actually, before I came back and got my pro card, and I did Kansas City. I was already off for almost 2 years, so I already had that time off, so I'm good.
Mhm. And what's any shows you're looking at right now, or what you and Robert are talking about?
No, I'm gonna let Robert pick that one. So if he feels like there's one that I should do over another one, or okay, we had talked about doing two, but with the gym opening, I'm like, let's. I'm probably gonna tell him that we probably should just stick to one, which will probably be towards the end of the year, probably.
I would say I have a suggestion, if you don't mind. There's the World Championships Masters coming up. That's in Pittsburgh. That's in I think it's the towards the end of August. That maybe give you enough time. Or there's the Atlantic Coast that's coming up. That's also usually after the Olympia. One of those shows. They're both also open, with the Atlantic Coast and I think Daytona. Those are Masters shows. So if you want to double dip, do Masters and Open. And with the master show, it's just mostly master competitors. So you have to be over 40. So, that
Right,
may just maybe a test show to see how you
right,
do, maybe
yeah.
see how especially how you hold up. Here we got a comment from a man, Warrior 2000, shout out to Warrior, says, what's your favorite women's physique athlete currently in the IFBB Juno? So you have a favorite, anybody, just not just women's physique, but any competitor that you're a fan of.
I'm a fan of everybody. like, um, seriously, like I follow so many girls. Like I don't like. I'm a fan of everybody. Like there's a couple of girls after I got my pro card who like said congrats and like DM me and was just like, oh congrats, blah, blah. And I follow them and I'm just like, holy crap, like you're DMing me. Like I follow you religiously and I've been following you and here you are congratulating me. And I was just like, so that's like I fan out over everybody. So, only because I know the struggle. So like everyone's my favorite. And it like I was just like, if anybody says like, I'm like, oh, she's my favorite. Like Tina, they're like, do you know Tina? I was like, Tina's my favorite. What are you talking about? So, like, everyone is my favorite. Like, everybody works hard and they look amazing and they're just so nice. Like, that's rare.
Well, Tina is a great friend of mine. We've
Mhm.
been talking, she's a beautiful lady, Tina
Yeah,
S. Williams. She's been on here as a guest on a couple of podcasts. There she is right here. This is from back in 2023 when she did Arizona Pro. And this is this year, last year when she did the the show Anaheim, which is the Grand Prix. And yesterday was the birthday of her coach and trainer. I've interviewed her also, Melanie Specco. Melanie has really
yeah,
worked with her. I mean, that is a great lady. She really brought Tina. Also, is working with her husband Keith too. She did some great jobs with both of them. But one person who I'm a fan of, and you guys, you know who I'm going to talk about. I can't help it because she's so beautiful. She changed bodybuilding. She saved women's bodybuilding, and that is the lovely Mrs. I call Miss. I want to call Mrs. MacArthur. Actually, Miss Andrea Shaw. Oh, I
yeah,
love her.
yeah.
She's just so
It's a good
she's
picture.
just
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. I mean, she's just so great and amazing. And people I've talked to her tell me I've talked to and interview say she's a great person. She's an amazing person. They just love her personality and who she is and what she has done for bodybuilding as a whole.
yeah. The good thing about Tina too, she lives like 30 minutes from me. So yeah, I
Yeah,
used to see her all the time at the gym and like I wouldn't want to bother her while she was working out because I don't believe in bothering people when they work out. But like, she's just like she's like watching her work out is yeah.
yeah.
It's just like yeah,
Yeah, she's a great mother, a great wife. She's an amazing person. I really respect her, and like I said, we've been good friends for a good while. Me, her, and Keith. Keith, he come. We do a podcast on Monday. Keith's on there sometimes. He's almost every day, and we talk about stuff, and especially in the world of bodybuilding. He really gives me some information. We talk about stuff, get feedback. It's just a great opportunity to know these
yeah.
two
I saw
people.
the one where you guys were talking about the keeping your qualifications. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That
yeah.
that's like a big controversy. Yeah, yeah,
Well, it's another controversy. Is also there's the new fit model division. Excuse me, I had to, I'm just, I've been like I said, I am for a long time. I've always been a hardcore fan of women's bodybuilding. And when other divisions start coming in, and they don't like, and I'm seeing like women's bodybuilding get pushed out of shows, and getting dropped from the Olympia, and getting kicked out of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. And I'm not a fan of Arnold and his politics, especially when it comes down to the women. And then you bring in this another division, which is just just the same as the division they brought in. But you're not really taking care of the problems that is there. If you you look down how they evolved, one thing is this. Like if you look at the women's at the Olympia, how Sarah Vilgus is champion. Now everybody's chasing after Sarah. And then you look at you compare it to like a lot of ladies will say like Dwayne Bailey or Julia McCartney or Shanique Grant. Shanique's about to do wellness now.
Wellness,
And yeah, it's just the evolution of the athlete. But you made these rules, but the thing is, you're not sticking to those rules. And if you're seeing, and also one thing is, you're seeing athletes like one thing I think with women's physique, you're seeing women come from women's bodybuilding, bring those aesthetics from women's bodybuilding into the division like physique. And and that thing is a lot of like one lady I interviewed. That's the reason why she retired from bodybuilding because the fact was she knew she wouldn't like one thing she knew she would be too small for women's physique, and she wouldn't even be big. She'd be too small for figure. Look at the figure girls now, and I mean they are just as some should go to women's physique, but they say like I want to stay here, I want to keep my high heels, but you're looking more like the division when it first started.
Right. That I'm afraid of that. Like, I'm afraid that I'm going to have to switch categories and eventually, because I just feel like sometimes they're trying to phase physique out. But like, I'm not big enough. I'm the first to admit, I'm not big enough for true bodybuilding. Like, I'm not, I could probably do like light or middleweight, or I could do heavyweight, but I feel like I'm just not big enough. And I don't want to do figure because me and heels don't get along and nobody wants to see that. So it's like, that's what I'm afraid of. Like either I'm going to have to get bigger or get leaner, So I am afraid that that's going to happen, that there's going to be no physique pretty soon.
And same thing with no women's bodybuilding, because
Yeah.
at one point I was a big fan of physique division. I call it watered down women's bodybuilding, but most of the ladies I've interviewed are from physique, and many ladies who started out in physique eventually went to women's bodybuilding. But it's about finding the right division for yourself. Maybe you don't have to go up to women's bodybuilding. Just like I said, just come in a little leaner, work in conditioning.
Yeah.
But that's the tough part. Not everybody has those, like the genetics, like Natalia Cuejo, who has that crazy small waist. And you remember she was also figure before. Or you look at Sarah, her condition is just beyond belief. But she wouldn't hold a candle to Andrea or even Andrea Yo, because those ladies are big.
Right.
And even one person I also am a fan of that's also, she is just coming a long way. She's amazing physique. She was, at one point, she was figure, then went to physique, then went to women's bodybuilding, and that is Ashley Jones. Ashley, I remember that last Olympic back in 2022, and I did a comparison with her and Margie Martin. And you can kind of see not too far apart. This was when she was still in physique, and Margie's last Olympia in women's bodybuilding.
Yeah. But those quads, though, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Yeah.
She did pretty good for this is her second Olympia, but she was supposed to be her third, but she missed the first one because she got sick. But she did pretty good, making top 3 in women's bodybuilding. She's top 3 in the world, and also top 3 in the Rising Phoenix. We have here from my man. Shout out to my man. Warrior says, "Incredible! You are going to be a top 5 at the Miss Olympia someday, Junno." So, how you feel that? Would you?
Okay. I appreciate that.
I mean, like I said, it takes time. And I think if you look at right now, like you look at someone like Sharonka Hinton. I think you're not too far from her, especially in size conditioning. I mean, you could probably crack the top 5. Like I said, it's tough. There's a lot of ladies in there who really, really bring in their top level physiques.
Yeah. Prepping for nationals was, like I was telling Robert, like, I don't think, and a couple other people, like, I don't honestly, like, I always feel like I work hard for prep, but I just took it somewhere that I have never taken it before, and it was hard. Like, I typically don't say that things are hard when I'm putting myself through them, but it was hard. Like, the amount of times that I just sat and cried because like I was just mentally just done. Like you, so I can only imagine trying to prep for Olympia. My husband would be like, this is, I'm just gonna sleep somewhere else. So yeah, but yeah, so but I appreciate that. But that would be amazing. Like if I could, if we, I say not me because this is a team effort. If we could get me there, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, because then people bodybuilding is not so much as a solo sport. Even though
Mm-mm.
it's just you on the stage. It takes your coach, it takes your husband supporting you, take a team. Because
Yeah.
it is in a way, it may be not a team sport like everybody looks at it. Like we got another week till Super Bowl starts out. My man Boss, he has a question. He says, "Chiefs or Eagles?"
Chiefs. That like I'm like 40 minutes from Kansas City, so yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Keith. He's happy. He's happy. Y'all going
Yeah.
again. I think somebody picked on him on last week. Says, your man Patrick Mahomes sounds like Kermit the Frog. Hi ho, I'm Kermit the Frog.
He does. He really does.
Actually, somebody sent me a thing, and I sent it to Keith where he had a picture of Patrick and Darlene from Roseanne.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that one, and I cannot unsee it now. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I
This is
never
from a
even
man. Yeah, from Man Warrior says Tina can be funny too when she serious cracks me up. With up, Keith is a jokester too. Yeah, they are great people. I
yeah.
enjoy my. One of these days, I'm hoping maybe someday I get to meet my big brother. Call him my big brother. He actually offered me to. He's planning on doing a show. He offered, hey, he might want to fly me out. I'm thinking about going to show. My first show I went to was in Savannah. That was about 3 years ago. And I said, you
Hmm.
know what? I like to go to a show. I got to save money. I got a car. I got to get out of the shop. And he said, hey, I can fly you out to the show. And I said, yeah, think about it. But now with things going on with planes going out of the sky, I think I'm kind of
Oh
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like,
I'm,
can I drive there? Yeah.
yeah, I'm not know I want to drive that far. Maybe to a train, maybe
Mhm.
I take a bus, maybe I think about that. Here we got is you know, my man, I'm sorry, Balls. He says you got to maintain balance between muscle and femininity. And that's the thing is, it's always going to be an issue for y'all women. You have to
Mhm.
be, because especially that's why you have to have the hair and the makeup. The suits have to be more, designer. That's the thing is, and I feel like that's more like always. I think it's more of a thing against you when you use the femininity thing. I understand it's an important part of it, especially the female bodybuilder, but it seems like it kind of overtakes a part of y'all being athletes more than anything.
Right, but here's the thing too. Like, you don't know how your body's going to respond to things. Like, sometimes it just can't be helped. Like, your body just is that's how it responds. So, like, I can say like, oh, I don't want my voice to get deep, or I don't want the skeleton face, or I don't want the hard jawline. But if that's how your body responds, and that's how your body responds, there's nothing you can do to stop it. So that's just it. You just don't know. So like there's a few girls that I know who who don't even respond that way. They just look like females, and it's just like, oh, like they don't have any of the side effects, and that's that's amazing. So like you just don't know. Like you can't predict what's going to happen once you get into the sport.
Yeah, because everybody's not going to be the same. Some women are going to look a little bit more harder looking, maybe more
Right.
masculine looking. Some women, like good example, like Andrea. I would say Ashley, most definitely. A lady I've interviewed before, Sherry Priyami. A couple ladies have followed. They do still look very strong feminine. They have their hair done. They have their makeup right. You're gonna have some women who look a little bit. As one lady, her name is Anastasia Kobaleva, who just won at Romania. She's going to be doing her first Olympia. She is huge if you ever saw her, and there's always a debate about how much size is going to be needed. And that thing is the judges are tell you we need to be bigger and fuller. And these competitors to train to build that muscle, you have to take that time.
Yeah.
It's so much work to it.
Yeah, there is. And it's like, can my body even do that? Like I said, I'm pushing 50. So it's like, how much more am I going to have to do and train and eat and because my hormones are changing and my body's not responding like it did when I first started. So it's like you just got to push that much harder. So it's a guessing game of what your body's going to do. So sometimes your body fights against you.
Yeah. He got come from a man, shout out to man, KL Duarte. He says, yeah, give me a second. He says this. He says, uh, Muscle Talk Saturday. Well, no, that's Muscle Talk Monday. We have that, but every so often we have a little thing on Sunday. I try to get some ladies to come here and get a critique and talk about things going on in bodybuilding. I also got my man from my man Warrior. He's always like this. He says, not a fan of Sarah and Natalia is okay, but I think if you work hard, I think you can surpass them. And that's gonna be tough. Like I said, she is about 50. It's a lot harder for women who are much mature to put on the muscle and the size compared to younger competitors. Like the Tad's not even 30 yet. And I think Sarah's in her mid-30s. But are you thinking about competing in open and in masters, or you want to just do open? Because I know somebody said they didn't want to do masters there. I'm not there yet. I don't want to do masters.
I wouldn't be against it, but like I said, I leave that up to Robert. Like whatever, however he's feeling. Like especially like how is off season going? How are you responding? How is this looking? How busy are you? Like how much time do you have to put into training? Like I just want to pick the best show, or I say him, him to pick like the best show, and like we'll talk about it. But I wouldn't be against masters because, like I said, I am older, so like I'm not, but I'll do open. Like I say that with confidence, didn't I? But
Yes, you gotta be confident.
but
You,
when we
you, you
talk
gotta think
about
about it. You be on stage with maybe women might be 10 years younger than you.
right,
And you have to
right,
have the
yeah,
confidence. You have to believe
yes,
yourself. Like anything, when you get into the sport, you have to have the confidence. You can't be
no,
too cocky,
right.
thinking
But
that I can come.
I'm saying I said that with confidence, but there was a but. But going into these last two shows, like when he was like, let's just go for it and do open, like I was just like, who, me? Open what? So like I'm gonna be like I said, like I immediately mommed those girls when I went backstage. like I am the oldest one here. Like yeah. So that was humbling, but it was exciting knowing that I could compete with those girls. Yeah.
I know how it is. We get older, you just things change. I'm just an old man now. I got two bad knees. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I got a pacemaker. I remember when I was a young buck a long time ago.
Yeah.
But
But
that's the thing is, I've seen a lot of ladies who are coming in the sport who are much older than yourself. I know ladies who's like 60, some ladies 59. I know a lady who took some time off to have family, came back in her 50s,
yeah.
and
And then
it's tough.
it is, but like for myself, like nothing cocky or anything like that. But like just for myself, knowing me, like I got it. I can do it. Like I can push myself. So
Yeah, like to
yeah.
quote the great Rocky Balboa, it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can take the hit and keep moving forward.
Right.
That's how winning's done. Because sometimes life can hit you hard. He said it can break you down to your knees, but as long as you get up and keep moving and do what you got to do, you got to be
Yeah.
determined. That's one thing. Determination is the most important part, especially as a bodybuilder. We have your comment. My man Lawrence Perkins coming through. Shout out to Lawrence. Says, good afternoon, Junno, George, and everyone on the chat. Happy Saturday. Thank you, brother. Also,
Okay.
my man Lawrence says, Miss Juno, you have amazing, confident smile that will bring life to others around the world. Thank
Okay.
you, brother. Appreciate that. Also, got one more comment from my man, War 2000 says like this. It says, Anastasia Kobaleva look is not a look at Judge Sandy Williamson basically like. So we'll see what will happen at this year's Olympia. So we got to wait and see. I would like I said, it's a wait and see. So that thing is that there's so much involved in the sport, the training, the diet, the traveling, especially the diet is one important part of it. Especially, I often ask you ladies after the show, you know, ah, what was that thing that you wanted the most? That thing that was calling your name, that's calling you.
Mm. Oh my gosh. Let me think. Let me think back to prep. What was it calling me? If I had to pick, it would be Reese's.
That's simple.
Hmm. Yeah, because like I'm a fan of chocolate and peanut butter, but it's like so quick and easy just to open it, and I would say that. Also, too, it would be something to drink, like lemonade or something like that. Like I don't, not necessarily food, but sugar, like liquid sugar. So, but other than that, like it would have been Reese's. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I know when I go to Walmart, I get the Walmart tea. It's not too sweet. It's just that perfect mix of, you
Yeah.
know, it's not too sweet. It's just perfect. Sometimes I'll drink the whole jug within 2 or 3 days if I'm not careful. I know I
Yeah.
need to drink more water. Try to drink more water. I do, but water's boring. You have to really spice it up a little, like a little
Yeah.
fruit, so like yeah, make it a little more exciting for your taste buds. And sugar, I know it's both. It can be addictive. Like it's like sugar can be like crack. I'm telling you.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
I
hold on. So like it does. So sugar does hit the same part of your brain that um, crack does. So it's like it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah, so anytime I eat sugar, I'll be like Pookie, New Jack City. That's all I
Yes.
be,
Yes.
man. Like, man, you're like,
Hmm.
I be eating
The
snack cake. I be
Oreos.
eating snack cake. I be like crying and sweating at the same time.
So I
So,
mean, same thing.
yeah, it's like some say this was a psychologist saying like love and madness has got the same kind of wavelengths, and that's how it
Hmm.
is. You
Yeah.
can never tell to see how. Here we got a comment. Shout out to my man Balls Deep. He says, you maintain that balance and very well. Appreciate that, brother. Also, we have this from my man, also War 2000. He says, splurge foods for bodybuilder athletes is always a guilty pleasure. Whenever they get done any competition, they go hard and purge themselves. Like I said, I've often the ones be like either, pizza, burger and fries. Some would
Yeah.
say, this is one that I think the one of the weirdest one is sushi. I'm like I said, I've been poor, but I've never been so poor where I got to eat cold raw fish.
I like sushi too, but so after the show, after Kansas City show, um, I like binged on pancakes from. But okay, in my defense, they were from Protein House, so they were clean ish. But um, I'm a big fan of Protein House, so everyone who like always sees it on my story, they're like, I gotta try this Protein House that you keep speaking of. But it gives me that sense of a cheat meal without being too dirty. So I did do that after Kansas City. Like I had the big monster stack of pancakes with the chocolate and the yeah. So yeah.
So you like the Rocky said. So you like pancakes?
Yes, I do. And French toast. Yes.
Yeah. I don't. I think the last time I ate pancakes was when one day me, my sister, and boyfriend went out and went to IHOP, and I had some. I don't
Mm,
eat too often. Like I said, one thing I used to be at one point. I would tell you, I was taking care of my mom for a long time. She was sick, and I was almost 500 pounds after she died. I went to doctor, because I have a heart condition. I got to always go check things out, make sure things pumping. And the scale said force 85,
mhm.
and that was almost 5 years ago. Then I made some changes. I started working out a little bit in the house, and I was going to the gym for a little bit. My knee bothered me for a good while, so I just couldn't do as much like I used to. I try to walk every now and then, and now I'm at 397. I did pick up
Right.
a little weight, yeah, over the holidays because holidays like that. But yeah, there you have to from doing these interviews with you ladies, you inspire me. Being a fat guy like myself, being as I said, one of my crimes is I'm a muscle person, and I love talking to you ladies. I get inspirations by y'all, but I really learned something from your conversations. Like some ladies who got in the body because they were overweight, some got in because you had an athletic background. This is a sport that really can, affect not just the people in the sport, but people outside who follow the sport. I get an education, I get to learn something, and I get to understand what drives y'all. Because I talk to ladies today, they don't do it for the money. If it was like any other sport where you can make maybe enough where you can live off of.
Mm,
But this is a sport where it takes a lot. It's a very expensive hobby sport, but some
right.
or the lucky ones do make a living out of it.
Yeah, but then it becomes a job. I have a job. Like actually I don't have a job. But we'll go there. but um, but like, well, I'm a trainer, so it doesn't feel like a job. But I feel like if I was doing it for the money, then it would be a job. Then it wouldn't be fun. It takes I mean, I say fun, but it's like a psycho fun. But it's then it would become a job, and I don't want it to become a job. I want to do it because I enjoy doing it.
Hmm. Yeah, you got to enjoy this sport. You have to
Yeah,
learn what you love to do, what you got to do, and the workout and the training, the diet. That's one of the things, a part of it. But, but if you love what you do, it's something that, no one can take away from you.
right.
It's just, like I said, I get a lot of, I really respect you ladies for what you do. We got coming from my man, Balls D. Shout out to man Balls D. He says, dope interview. I appreciate that, brother. And also he says to you, he says, him a second, pull it up, says, uh, have a great, good day, beautiful. I
Thank
mean,
you.
he's a fan. I think he's picking a new fan today. So, but, we really, like I said, we do appreciate the time she's given us. We don't want to hold her up. I know she's, busy day, training, working out, she got do things today. But I do appreciate when I get a chance to talk to you ladies in the sport, get your feedback, get your thoughts on it. And I think, as again, as a fan, especially of you ladies, I feel like y'all deserve just as much respect and recognition as the guys. But I'm gonna keep saying this, and this is, I'm gonna say this. We all know the men's open division is the bottom bitch. Excuse my language. That's what it is. And everybody's gonna pay attention to the TNA division. That's wellness and bikini. And I just, but wellness. Those women really have great muscle aesthetics. Many of them were at one point either figure or physique or some bikini
But
competitors.
those
But
wellness girls, ooh, yes, yes, especially at
yeah,
nationals. I was like, I can't stop staring. So like,
you'd be like, you see, like, what
oh my,
that's like ass and
I was,
thighs everywhere.
I was like, what? I rest in peace. So I remember when my ass looked like that, but I was just like, but I was just like, oh my gosh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I wish I loved heels that I would consider, but no. Kudos to them. Yeah.
yeah. You gotta, like I said, I do give that a little bit of respect. Bikini said again, but and there's new vision coming up. It's going, but I really, like I said again, I respect all you ladies what you do this sport. Not everybody can do what y'all do. Not everybody can make the sacrifices y'all do, the time you put into it. If anything, y'all deserve just as much recognition as the men. And just also I would say things like, especially now you're pro, anything the the IFBB should invest in the athletes. No matter if you're even at the top of the hill, or you're just somebody coming into the sport, you should be invested, because this is why I say this. We don't come to shows to see the promoters or the judges or anybody that we come to see y'all. And again, we go to, like, people need to understand this also. When you go to these shows, yes, you see these ladies on stage, these guys on the stage, especially the ladies, y'all ripped and shredded, y'all, vascular. I know, but we gotta understand what it took you to get there. The
Yeah.
diet, the
Yeah.
dehydration, the sleepless nights sometimes, the training in the gym, the times where you might be at a family function, you're eating Tupperware, and everybody's eating barbecue, and I know Kansas has really good barbecue. North Carolina is better,
Yeah.
and but you know what? If you're willing to do that, willing to take that time to get sacrifice, that's all respect. Here we
Right.
got here, yeah, my man, Lawrence Perkins says, I hope everyone have a great day. And Miss, you spell name Junno say,
Okay.
it's a
I
pleasure
know.
yeah, it's a pleasure to get to know you and your journey as well. Thank you, brother, and we appreciate that. So we're not gonna hold much longer. We do appreciate the time she's giving us. I know she's a busy lady. She got a husband to take care of and feed. And everything else. So this is a question to ask you: what would you want out of bodybuilding for yourself as a whole?
I want to be a better person. I do. Um, I want to be the hardest worker. Um, I want to say that out of bodybuilding. So I, I started out as this, I think, this little bitty girl who looked like she should have been doing bikini. And then I grew. And so I want to pass that along to other women and let them know that it's, no matter how old you are, because I am of a certain age, you can do it. So I want to give something back. That's what I want to get out of it. Like, I went through the journey. I know how it is. I know what you have to go through. I understand what you're going through. So for me to give something back to those ladies, knowledge, a place to work out in Topeka, because we have very few places for women who are in the sport to go to. I want to give back in that way. Um, I just, I don't know. I just want to become a better person all around. So, and like we had talked about earlier, meeting the ladies backstage, there was no animosity. There's no like mean girl spirit. Um, I just want to keep that going. So, um, I don't have anything else to gain. Like, I've lived a whole life. I've raised kids. I have young adults. I've been with my husband since I was 15 years old. Like, I've lived life. So I've done all the things. I've done all the bad stuff that before social media, when there was no witnesses. Like, I've been through that part of life. So there's not anything more for me to gain but to give back.
Yeah. We got a couple more here before we head out. We have a man, Balls. He asks, he says, how many
Gosh,
tats you got?
a lot. um 15, I don't know, a
They're
lot.
kind of scattered. That's I know
Yeah,
you're kind of
well, I
scattered. You're not.
have, well, okay, so it looks it looks like one, because I have my wedding vows tatted on my arm. So to have an
Oh,
oath, like, so I have all that, and then I have my calves and my collarbone, and then my hand, and I have
your
so
legs and
many.
your thighs. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Me
yeah,
personally, I'm not a big fan of especially if they get to when it covered too much the best parts of the muscle. We can't see it as
right.
well.
I didn't do my back.
Um, yeah, yeah,
So
because
that
I
makes,
think
yeah.
yeah, because the back is the most important part, especially
Yes.
when
Yep.
you are because if you can't see that muscle detail as well in the
Right.
back, and you working on your glutes and everything else,
Yeah, I
like
don't have
this is
that.
before I ask you, what's your favorite and least favorite workout?
Ooh, I hate chest. I hate anything chest. Like, and I know my husband knows, like, I know she gonna say chest. Like, I just dread it. It's so boring. Like, I don't know. Favorite workout, shoulders. Yeah. So I love a good shoulder day. But that chest, it's just like, I'm good.
Like I said,
I'll
again,
just eat better.
yeah, you have to work on your strength and also work on your weakness. You have to be a
Yeah.
complete athlete. You have to follow your rest, your recovery, everything that involves in it. You have to
Yeah.
really, build yourself to a level where you want to step on the stage with some of the top competitors, and then eventually get to Olympia. Um, Here we got a comment from a man, shout out to a man, Ward that says, I got to go. It's been a pleasure meeting you, Juno. Appreciate that, brother. Also, a man, Ward Baldy says, I love tatted muscle mommies. He says, he says this, he says, what's tatted on your hand looks like it's dope. I think she says what's
No,
that on your
that's,
hand?
so my hand is a sugar skull.
Oh, that's very good. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's fake. It
And
kind of
also,
looks like me.
yeah. Also, he says, "Yeah, your chest looks good."
Thanks.
Thank you, brother. So, one thing I would say this, and I will say one thing I wish I could do if I could, maybe sponsor some ladies because you know what that does help. Sponsorship does help. If you guys out there who can help out any lady in the sport of bodybuilding, just
Oh,
take just
absolutely.
one
Yeah.
sponsorship help. Reach out to these ladies with genuine interest, but don't be this guy that says, "Hey, Gino, I seen your last show." Your abs. I'm gonna use that to wash my clothes on. Say, no, no, stop that. You sick freak.
Yeah.
Come on. Go like this. This is what you should do. And I do this. This is my performance. I gotta do this. Says Miss Gardenhire, we are very impressed about you. You're passionate about bodybuilding and how you got into sport and everything else. We work for a company that wants to help athletes grow and develop, and we want you to be our brand ambassador. So, if you're interested, madam, and you feel like there's something that works with you and your training, your process, and your life, we'd like to be part of our company. So, if you feel interested in it and it works with your time and also if you're favorable to it, we want you to be part of our ambassador brand program. So, would you be interested in it, madam?
It depends. I gotta see. I'm just like,
Oh,
no,
all
and I
right.
say that only because like I don't believe in promoting things that I don't use. So, um, if I genuinely do not like your product, I won't do it for the money. So, because if it doesn't work for me or I don't believe in it, then I'm not going to tell someone about it, and I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to speak ill of it, but I'm just not going to promote it because I don't want to pass that along to somebody else, and maybe it might hurt them or damage them. So, if I haven't tried it or done it for myself, then I'm not going to do it. So,
That's
yeah,
that's because that's just you're right. Because you know what, I've ladies told me that because they say they wouldn't want to do something that doesn't really fit them. You know,
right,
they're not gonna just do it for the money. But generally, most people would do because you know, well, instead again, it's a lot expensive for y'all ladies. Some ladies have to find a way to make income. You know, whether it
right,
be coaching
right.
trainers. Others might do a little more extreme. You know, more
Yeah.
like I
Well,
don't
I've been
most definitely.
fortunate. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been
Uh,
fortunate. Like I have my husband, so I just feel like, oh, you should probably pick up some overtime. No, I'm just,
I used to work two jobs. I tell you, that is, I mean, that's not, I used to get off work one job, go do another at night. One of my other jobs, I used to work in a gentleman's club. Guys would say, "Man, you working all those girls out?" No, dude, it's not always like that. It's not
right,
always
right.
laughs and giggles. Sometimes it's just if the girls are making good money, it's great. But if it's a tough night, it's a tough night. So, folks, we are not going to hold the lovely Miss Gardenhire too long. We appreciate the time she has given us. We will respect her. Congratulations, that's now she's IFBB Pro. Wish her best of luck in her upcoming season. Whatever show she want to pick, she want to let us know. We'll post it. We'll let everybody know about it because you know what? We want these ladies to get support as much as they can.
Right.
So before I let you go, you have anybody you want to shout out to?
Mm, let's see. Yes, my husband, of course, and Robert, of course, and my kids, Dewan, Davion, and Deja. So,
Oh,
yes. So,
yeah. Well,
so
I know they're proud of their mother, and they should be because you know what? I remember this. My boy's best friend is his mother, and my mother was my best friend, and I miss her. I used to argue. Sometimes he says, "Ain't I a man, Mama? Ain't I a man?" She said, "No, you're my baby."
that's right.
So yeah, and
Yeah.
she had to raise 6 kids and 3 grandkids. But I really respect what y'all ladies do, and that's why I say a lot of respect for women. Being raised by my mother, I had 3 older sisters. I used to work with women a lot. It's a hard thing to be a woman, especially in this sport. The time you got to put in, the effort you got to put in, and also, just not get as much as you deserve. And I feel like this is why my channel is dedicated to y'all ladies. Not just because, as you know, I am a muscle person. No, that's my crime. But I get to learn something, and I get to really, use the information from when I go to an interview and talk to somebody, and get the perspective of what it takes to be an athlete in sport. Like I said again, it is tough. And bodybuilding is not as popular like it used to be. Used to be come on television, you come on ESPN and networks, but now you got cornhole and poker. Oh, man.
Yeah.
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 So I'm like I said, ma'am, I appreciate your time to give us. I'm gonna give a shout out to my man Baldy came through. Warrior 2000, my brother KL, the Wanderer, Lawrence Perkins, Stephen Prey, all you who are here who made comments, I appreciate y'all support. Like I said, if you want to follow Junno, her links are in the description of this live stream. Also, her interview with Davey, you want to check that out. She does a little flexing on that one because she's in a little tank top thing. She's flexing something. So you want to see that flexing, guys? Because I know you guys. There's no offense to I say this. There's an old schmo saying, when you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. But but we respect you as competitors, and we respect your passion for the sport because you have to have passion to do the sport.
Yeah.
Like I said again, there's not much benefits of it other than just gaining muscle.
Yep. Yep.
So I appreciate your time giving me, ma'am. I wish you all the best of luck. Also, best of luck to your hubby.
Thank you.
Someday you might have those slope cards up there behind you.
I know, right? That'd be nice.
Yeah. Tell them just to keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward.
Yep.
All right. So, folks, I'd like to thank y'all for coming through. Appreciate the time giving you, me, and also, come on, he has to say something. He can't help himself. He says, Juno, I want to tell you something. You are beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm seeing somebody right now about him. I just, but he's a priest.
Yeah.
So, folks, I appreciate y'all coming through and thank you for support. Shout out to Junno. If you want to follow the links in the description, you know my rules, guy. She got kids, she got a husband. I don't want to hear nobody getting beat up by Juwan and the kids because they said some freaky shit. No, be respectful. Reach out, support. This is a tough sport. It doesn't help to help somebody, especially if anything you can do, like sponsorship, anything you can do help these competitors. Educate yourself about bodybuilding. There's a lot to learn. So,
Yes.
folks, I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate the lovely Mrs. Gardenhire for taking the time to talk with us, and wish you best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. To quote my man, The Dark Knight, you never have to. All right. Yeah, folks, it's your man all the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't subscribe. Good afternoon, good luck, good night, and have a good weekend.